So lekker om saam met musikante ook te kuier hier op die Groot Ontbyt. En vanoggend is nie uitsondering nie. Ons doen dit so voort saam met 'n talentvolle musikant daar uit Kaapstad. En haar naam Lia Elise en sy het natuurlik haar jongste liedjie en musiekvideo I Will Sing waarna ons gaan kyk net na die onderhoud so 'n bietjie later in die program. Maar kom ons sê net eers goeiemôre. Lia Elise, good morning. Welcome to die Groot Ontbyt.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful to have you, especially with that background. I must tell you, we are jealous.
Very much so.
Yes. Do you enjoy Cape Town? Do you enjoy that beautiful view?
I mean, Cape Town's my favorite place in the whole world. I'm very, very blessed to live here.
Yeah.
I just hope this view never gets old because, like you said, it is beautiful and you can get it sometimes.
Well, we can understand why. So enjoy it as long as it lasts. Okay, tell us a bit more. Lia Elise, who are you? Where do you come from? We know you're Cape Townian now, but how old are you and what do you do for a living?
So I'm 22 years old, soon to be 23. And I'm currently in my third year of psychology, so I'm trying to get through that and finish my degree. But then I work for a church full time, so that's incredible. I love it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do in my week.
Full time in ministry, that's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that's absolutely amazing that you would also use your gift for the glory of God. I wanted to ask you, I hear that at this young age, you already had a stint in London as well. Please tell us about that.
Yeah. Yes, it was a short-lived stint. I did have a dream to kind of leave South Africa at one point after I finished school, go overseas, become a famous musician in London. And so I got into a music college there called BIM. And I was there for 3 months, but this was like in the peak of COVID, 2020, like end of September. And I came home for Christmas in December. And we were put back on the red list at that point. So then I wasn't allowed back into the country. So it kind of forced my hand. So I wasn't actually legally allowed to go back. But looking back at it now, I definitely can see how God's hand was in all of that. Because being home, my life has been so different. Certain things, I never would have even been in ministry if I didn't come back. So yeah, it definitely was for the best, but it was an interesting experience.
But how do you move from a degree in music performance to a degree in psychology? Why that change?
Yes. To be honest, the psychology was a plan B. My parents were kind of like, just in case the music doesn't work out, maybe just have a backup. So psychology was kind of the only other thing I could see myself in. Which I do, like I definitely enjoy the counseling space and I could see myself being a counselor and that sort of thing. So yeah, it wasn't always my number one plan, but I enjoy it.
I want to take you a step back. You started performing at multiple events, I think from the age of 14, and you've managed to find your niche. You've managed to find your audience. Talk us through that process. How did you know this is my calling for now? This is the direction that I need to go when it comes to my musical career.
Yeah, like you said, it's definitely been a journey. I started singing from the age of 6, so it was very young, and like I really knew then that music was going to be a part of my life, and I wanted it to be a part of my life. So I started off with classical training and very much in the like operatic classical singing. And so I went that route for a good like 10 years or so until I was about 16. And then I started to kind of venture out into doing like jazz. And that's one of my favorite genres. I love singing jazz. So I think when I kind of got into that, that's where I started to explore a little bit more of my sound. I always kind of was drawn more towards the like ballad, jazzy, soul type of side. So that's when I started exploring that, and I loved it. So that's kind of when I broke away from the classical and started going into more of that side of music. And then I think it was really just a journey of figuring out my sound and writing songs, seeing what I like, seeing what works. And I think that changes all the time. I feel like I have sort of an idea, but every time it feels like something else comes where I'm like, oh, I like that. So it's cool. I feel like there's still so much more for me to kind of explore there.
Well, you've got a beautiful voice. We've listened to the music video, and yeah, it's a strong voice. It's like a dark sound, strong dark
Velvet,
sound, and
yes.
then it's from a low range to a high range. Beautiful song. You can become the singing psychologist.
I like that.
Amazing.
Okay,
I'll
Lia
take
Elise,
it.
tell us about this song, I Will Sing. What's it all about?
So I think the song is really a testimony of my life personally, but I also wanted it to represent like a universal kind of experience. I think it really just details the kind of moments in my life that have been really hard, like kind of going through those valleys. And then kind of through my relationship with God and finding Jesus, having hope despite all of it. So that's really the inspiration behind the song, is kind of that journey. And kind of despite what I go through, despite the seasons of life, I still have a reason to sing. I still have hope. And for me, that hope is Jesus, is my faith. So I was inspired to write about that, because that really it's been a huge, huge change in my life. And I wanted it to come across for other people of like, it is possible to have joy and have hope in the hardest of seasons. So yeah, it's been incredible to kind of write a song like that and, let it be actually true and what my life is like. So yeah.
A very beautiful messaging behind it, and also a very beautiful cause behind it. You've, of course, partnered with RADA or RADA. Please tell us more about that and how your partnership with the song, with the organization, will benefit them.
Yes. So, yeah, I actually, when I was my old producer, Howie Combrink, I was working with him a couple of years ago, and I was kind of pursuing a little bit more of a music career, and he used to produce their albums for them. RADA's released a couple of albums before this, and so he had offered for me if I wanted to be a part of this recent one this year. So this journey started like beginning of last year, so it's been quite a long time coming. But yeah, that process started writing for them, then flew up to Joburg to record there. So yeah, it's an awesome opportunity. Like what RADA is doing is incredible, and I think that their idea to use music to get their message across and to get other people involved in what they're doing, I think is brilliant. So yeah, that's kind of how that partnership formed, and the song is really it's a part of their RADA Unearthed Volume 3 album, which features other artists, and yeah, it's just an incredible opportunity to kind of, for me personally, to give to them, and also to be a part of what they're doing.
And of course, they work and support people who went through, stuff like rape and addiction and drug abuse, and so it's a wonderful cause. And so, are you going to work with them in future as well, again?
Hopefully. I'm just waiting for the invite. But I mean, I enjoyed the process so much. It's just been awesome. I just feel like something that aligns with my values so much, and I was just very blessed to kind of be able to do something like that I really believe in. So yeah, it was awesome.
Lia Elise, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we're really looking forward to listen to the song now later on in the program. A song with a great message, a personal journey, and we trust that the Lord will bless you and your journey to continue with RADA as well, and the work they do.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Dit dan Lia Elise wat vanoggend saam met ons gekuier het en dit oor haar nuwe lied I Will Sing.